So we're watching from our challenger's perspective, from good old Rick, and ooh, starts with one of, in my opinion, the best cards of all the decks we've seen.
Yeah, and this is for all, like, for viewers at home wondering what Mists of Avernus is all about. If you turn one, you just buff a lane down the stream, and they start getting that bonus, and it's all permanent bonus, and it's an uncommon,
Ooh.
not even a rare.
He decides to put it in the first lane.
Okay.
So improvements, again, you can play that into any lane.
Yep.
If you put it in the second lane, it would actually proc right now, and Rix would get 4 attack, and that creep would have 3.
It is very actually common to put it into the Rick's lane, because even if he dies, he comes back with a buff. But I think his logic...
More creeps.
More creeps on the first lane, so he could get a slightly bigger benefit down the road. So
Totally.
Yeah. One could argue whether that's a good or bad play, but I think that's the reason why he went for the play.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely reason to play it if you have, say, more creeps in another lane and you feel like you're going to get more value. Drop it over there. But yeah, improvements, one of the things when you're first learning the game is getting around the idea that they can be played in any lane as long as you have the hero of the same color for that improvement.
Correct.
And actually there are other cards too. It's not just improvements, but you'll notice that for certain cards, this is again another improvement, but they will have that left and right arrow to that, that mana cost, and that means you can play it from a lane into any other lane.
I think 2 examples of cards that like this are in the pre-constructed deck is the Grazing Shot.
Yep.
It's a 1 mana black card that you could shoot 2 damage into another lane, and then believe Pick Off, 4 mana black card that does 4 damage to any other lane.
Yep. That's right, and now you'll see that Mists of Avernus taking effect, so these creeps now do 5 damage instead of 4.
Yep.
And this Lycan is slowly getting more tanky too, and now would probably be a good time to place out one of your Savage Wolves, although there is a Dimensional Portal.
Okay, Savage Wolf, I think, challenged the portal just fine though.
Yes.
That 3 health will let us survive and keep on growing.
That's right.
And I like the fact that he placed it as far away from the Zeus as possible, because as the board shrink, static slide lightning is going to be doing a thing.
That's true, and that's something that we haven't really talked about much either. The board shrinks, and why is that?
Well, whenever there are gaps, for example, if you look back in the first lane, if that 5/1 creep dies, then there's just 2 empty spaces, so they just kind of collapse.
That's right. There can be no cases of empty spaces on the board.
Yes. And as we have these hero trade, currently the challenger is sitting at 14 gold, and guess what?
Guess what?
Doubling that 14 gold is going to be great. We might see a turn 2 Horn of the Alpha.
Oh.
In fact, I think Ash Ketchum from Palatown earlier did achieve this legendary status. That's why he's Ash Ketchum.
Truly amazing. That is one of the best items that you can get. And for those of us just joining, that is the Horn of the Alpha. But unfortunately,
did not get it
here.
I mean, I think Poaching Knife is still absolutely
excellent. Still a great card.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can still keep buying items and kind of hedge your bets and maybe see if you can get that that Horn of the Alpha later. And there it is.
Okay.
So now you'll see that that item deck is at 7 out of 9 because there's 9 items in your deck. The more you buy, the more likely that Horn's going to show up the next time, right?
Yes. I like the choice that he bought the Healing Salve as well. Even though you know the Horn is in your deck, you're still spending a bit of gold. I feel like you have the momentum right now if you're Rick. Or is it Morty?
It's Rick.
Okay. And keeping your hero alive and pressuring the blue-black aggressive deck is a great choice.
For sure. And now we're seeing the 5 mana turn. There's a Lycan here, which means, again, only the same color cards that can be casted are Savage Wolf. So he can choose to develop another Wolf here and also draw aggro away from this creep hitting his Wolf right now.
But look at the hand here for Sunsfan. He has so many, like, damage, direct damage spell. And again, don't forget about Static Lightning. He's going to be able to proc and honestly, I think he could kill the whole board. He has enough cards to kill the entire board.
Yes. And if he puts out a Savage Wolf now, that's actually going to die along with the rest of the pack if he chooses to do that strafing run.
Die along with the rest of the pack. I like that, Fosh. Okay.
Very thematic. He still puts out the Wolf anyway, not knowing what Sunsfan has at his disposal.
This is the best strafing run I've ever seen.
This is a really value strafing run.
Oh.
And those Wolves are going to be sad.
Yep.
Like Game of Thrones here.
Frostbite can be cast as well here to maintain that health of Zeus.
I can destroy you whenever
and the Wolves are going down. This is probably one of the cleanest way to take down all these Wolves.
Yeah, you want to kind of kill those before they get too out of control.
Yep.
Lycan is going to be saved. He's got a Traveler's Cloak and also healed up with that potion.
But killing these wolves also represent a lot more than just the wolves dying. Keep in mind that our player here committed that turn 1 mist onto that lane.
That's true.
And now there's no more creeps left, so Mist is really losing that value. Normally you see Mist lanes just kind of snowball, you eventually take that tower, but so far Mist has done 4 damage.
4 damage, yeah.
It's looking
Much.
rough
and
here.
Zeus is in that lane for Sunsfan, and with Zeus's passive, he has more of a likelihood to wipe out the board.
Another Frostbite comes in, and instead of the CM dying, CM's getting a kill. We are witnessing history in the making here.
It's just one after the other. First Bruno loses, and now CM lives
Yes.
and kills. Fascinating. We have the Troll Warlord also being targeted towards this creep now.
Yep.
Not necessarily a bad thing if you want to get those kills. Sunsfan just wants to kind of open up the area so that he can finally get Sorlakan into some place where she can hit a tower.
I think the bigger problem for the turn here for Rick is the fact that he was this gold deck. He was supposed to get 2 hero kills last turn.
Yes.
And kind of, again, push him into a very high aggressive gold territory.
Both.
Now he's down to 5 gold. Of course, he does have 2 hero coming in. Rick's dying is like not the worst.
Yep, Rix is going straight back into that mid lane. And smartly, our champion puts Sorla into the first lane because he realizes there's not too much of a chance that Sorla's going to be blocked here.
Yeah. I gotta say, for a game of Artifact on turn 4, or turn 3, yeah, very rarely you see all 10 heroes being represented. Normally, like, there's 2 or 3 heroes that's dead by now, but we are respawning back in.
Yeah, actually, Sunsfan changed his mind. He's going to go into the mid lane instead with Sorla.
Okay.
And puts Necrophos into that first lane.
Interesting choice here, because with his lane being so wide, I think Sorlakan would have had a much better chance getting a hit in.
Right, and he has Assault Ladders in his hand, and that would have been a lot of damage to the tower. With Assault Ladders doing 2 extra damage for any unit attacking the tower.
Rick could have just killed a Zeus with no accident, but he got greedy. He wanted to put the poaching knife first.
Yes.
He wants to make that extra buck.
But is there something that can kill the Lycan before he does
Or
that?
you just heal
Or
with
sorry,
the
kill.
Furline Mantle. So it's
Yeah, again with what Sunsfan has right now, he doesn't have anything to prevent the challenger from still casting that no accident.
okay, it's gonna be better late than never on the right side. Sunsfan could have put the Furline Mantle onto Zeus and put him out of the no accident range. Still no casting of any kill spells.
Yep, and that's sometimes it's a risky play. If you want to try to deny your enemy of the ability to cast certain colors,
Yes.
usually as soon as possible. Of course, there may be other things that maybe could be more value, such as equipping a poaching knife and maybe getting more gold out of it.
Interesting choice to Assault Ladder the mid lane instead of the first lane where he was getting a lot of kills or hits in. But it's going to be a coup de grace onto Necrophos. That's 10 gold. And currently, Lycan is threatening the Zeus. No longer, though, thanks to the Furline Mantle.
That's true. He's out of mana now, so this is the board state that he has to accept, and there's no other items or cards that he can play.
Yep. But for Sunsfan, he could equip that gun.
He could equip that gun.
Yeah.
And he could then end up killing Lycan.
Nope.
Nope, decides not to. Next turn anyway, if he casts a single blue spell, Lycan's out of it.
Yeah. It depends really who has priority in that lane. And that's always a very interesting battle. Especially once you come down to the last lane, do you want to cast that one key spell, or do you want to maintain priority going into mana 7, which is a very key turn for both of these decks.
Rick decides to cast that Mist of Avernus into this lane again.
I do believe Rick has not learned your lesson yet. Which
About
is
the improvements.
improvements can be cast into other lane.
Yes.
The gun's gonna fly out, and this is why we see the Assault Ladder here, simply because it allows now 28 damage to go through. Unfortunately, Rick doesn't have any creeps to put in front of that Sorlakan.
Yep, and no way to kill him either.
Yep.
So that's a very big hit to the tower.
Ooh, grazing shot from the
Ooh.
second lane to the first. That's what we call style.
Yep, and takes out that Lycan. So things are looking pretty grim.
Yep.
That's a very wide lane for both the first and the second for Sunsfan, and that's what you really want to see as an aggro deck.
And unfortunately, Rick has both his heroes trapped in this lane. And you can see that Sunsfan quickly passes as soon as he sees any spells. He wants that
He
priority.
wants initiative.
Yeah.
Sunsfan only has those 2 steam cannons in his hand right now, but he's really hoping for something that
He's
will...
hoping for Thunder God's
Thunder
Wrath.
God's
Yeah.
Wrath specifically, especially since this PA is at that special 4 health, and that will just mean another hero dead for our challenger.
Thunder
Or
God
three,
will...
3 heroes.
Yeah, 3 heroes dead. Thunder God is the best draw that Sunsfan could have.
Let's see if he gets it.
It's not
That's a
even close how good Thunder God is right now.
He has a pretty good chance. He hasn't drawn any of his 3.
Yep. Ooh,
got-
it's just missing slightly. Another steam cannon.
Yep. Heroes are dodging the Thunder God's Wrath for now, but that would have been devastating for our challenger.
So interesting to see where Sunsfan's going to throw down that improvement, the 5-mana one. Is it going to be the right lane just to make sure that he doesn't get rushed down there? Is it going to be the middle to remove blockers? I see it good in both cases.
That's right. If he does put it into the mid lane,
lane, okay.
The earth.
all right, he's looking to try to win this lane as well,
Yes.
because it is looking pretty tough for our challenger for that mid lane. So he's thinking, well, if this is the lane you're gonna come into, maybe you can
Yeah.
get some value.
Let's see where that shot is going towards. Is it going to be... I don't see any clear targets that are excellent for...
Yeah, it's a bit tight. Maybe you want to... Okay, so he decides to bring Zeus down and
Teleport Scroll.
teleport score, so Zeus is out of there. He doesn't want any of that creep.
And with the help of the melee creep attacking into Debbie, Conflagration is going to take it down next turn.
Yep. So that Heartstopper R doing piercing damage to Rix and that creep in front of him.
Yes.
Still not quite enough to kill Rix just yet. But our challenger does have the option to potentially silence if he was afraid of another big card coming out,
Or Hand of God.
or Hand of God. But if
So-
you Hand of God here, you save that creep and Rix. It's potentially good if you wanted to just keep blocking Sorla from hitting your tower.
Or you could just teleport out, or just tank it. But it's going to be Steam Cannon coming down. And I think Steam Cannon for Sunsfan is going to shoot to the right.
Yeah, and he's going to try to kill that PA most likely. Rick's still passing here. He's okay with losing this creep and Rix, but like you'd mentioned, I think Hand of God would be an interesting play here. But now that creep is dead, and Sorla is for sure going to kill that tower in the mid lane.
Rix is going to die as well. No point of teleport him out because of rapid deployment. He could just come back anyways.
Yeah.
And I think here is the place where we might see Hand of God.
Chen's active is now available,
Yes.
so that lets him to yoink a character, or a hero, sorry.
No.
Oh god, a creep.
He
What's
is
wrong?
out of there.
Yeah, PA just teleported out.
I have foreseen
Interesting.
what
I think he could have cast a Steam Cannon before leaving if he
Yeah.
wanted to just ditch.
That is very true.
to bolster the
I think that probably would have been the play. Looks like our challenger isn't... Oh, he's going to take a creep.
Yep.
Brings that over, and that's the only slot that creep can go into since it's empty. Goes ahead, and I wonder where he's going to put that PA. So, as the challenger now, you're trying to think of which lanes you want to win, right? So, teleporting PA out, he's, I guess, more confident that he's going to push down that last tower with just Chen and maybe some additional creeps. It is turn, the 8-mana turn now, so
Yes.
he does have the Thunderhide pack at his disposal. So,
Is it a triple left for our challenger?
I think you give up on the mid lane, right?
Yeah,
'Cause-
mid lane is
oh,
already done.
It's already popped. So
Okay.
Rick is playing some next dimension plays.
Yeah,
here.
Rix is on a really a next dimension right now because none of these plays are good ones to propel him into victory.
Yeah, so again, the win condition is to pop 2 towers or to take the tower and the Ancient.
Yep.
But Sunsfan has already popped that mid lane, and
He's looking good to pop this
looking
first
good
lane
to
as
pop
well.
The first one, yeah.
He could. Oh, there's Disciple Nevermore in hand.
That is very true.
That's going to pump up a ton of damage. Now, green doesn't have any particular direct damage spell.
Right,
So
other than no accident, there are something.
No, green in particular.
Oh,
So
green.
if you throw down Disciple of Nevermore, you know he's relatively safe.
Yes.
victory.
Or Assault
is
Ladder.
a foregone.
There's a lot of damage coming through as well from that.
I think the play by Sunsfan now is to see if he could bait out the use of the cannon before
Correct,
he drops that
and then Disciple is going to
Nevermore.
come down.
Yeah, he wants that to be safe, and then that's going to do a lot of damage with all of these creeps openly facing the tower right now.
Okay.
Rick just goes ahead and passes, or there's a little delay or something, but he puts out that Thunderhide pack, and that's going to kill Necrophos and also do that 6 siege, which is its continuous effect here.
Okay, I think now Sunsfan is counting damage. Is it possible for him to get lethal? And I do believe it is. Disciple is going to represent about like 10 more damage. And then Zeus is also going to get to hit through. Oh, he doesn't have a steam cannon
He
in the
doesn't
lane.
have a steam cannon, yeah.
Sorry,
I think
I've
it's
been...
not quite, yeah, because this would become 12 damage here.
And you got to keep in mind that right now, currently, Rick still has that steam cannon, so he can't shoot down Disciple. All right, Disciple's going to come down anyways.
Just
too
barely.
short. So this forces the shot.
Rick goes ahead and kills that Disciple.
Yep. Okay, well, you know what? We are not too far off here from killing Sunsfan's first tower.
Yep. And something you can do, which I think is really fun when you're playing these games and don't have too much information, right, is you have these items in your hand, and you can just like keep playing them instead of passing.
Correct.
In order to delay and hope that, you know, you can bait out someone to use an ability or an improvement. And then once you feel like you're safe and you've used all your items, you can then
Play your big spells.
play your big spells or
Yeah.
your Disciple once you feel it's more safe.
Well, it will protect the Necrophos with the taunt ability.
The battlefield control.
Yep. This will give Sunsfan access to black spells.
Yep.
Now, the critical thing here for our challenger is that with PA being the middle lane, he actually gets to cast Steam Cannon here and shoot down Yamoy on the right lane if that's what he wants to do.
Oh no, not Yamoy. He's over on the right-hand side, and he does deny Sunsfan the ability to play Conflagration, which would be pretty sizable, but it's still looking pretty tough. Sunsfan's looking to push that first lane in the next round for that win. So one thing that's pretty cool, I don't know if you guys have seen it on the computers on the ground yet, but there's a way to sort your cards.
Okay.
I don't think that's been mentioned. People have been asking what this ... does, but you can sort by draw order, by mana cost, and by color.
All right.
Really helpful when you're playing the game and you want to just be able to see what exactly you have.
I don't think I've ever pressed that button in my life.
There's actually a shortcut to it too, but
Okay.
I believe shortcuts are muted.
I see. Second Steam Cannon coming down, and that means the shots are massive. And I think Sunsfan could just easily shoot down that big beast on the left side to make sure that he does not get sieged down, protecting all of his towers.
Just guns coming from the mid lane over
Guns
to
blazing.
that poor Thunderhide pack. Never saw it coming. And Necrophos gets the buff as well with his passive. So he loves to see that guy die.
Yomoy currently dying. Sunsfan can save it. I don't know if Sunsfan cares too much.
Yep, he's just looking for that mid lane anyways, so
Yep.
yeah, it's looking pretty tough for Rick here.
Yeah.
Rick also doesn't have any heroes to deploy in the next phase, so this is pretty much all he has to work with, just Lycan.
Yep, he retains priority as well.
He has an Apotheosis Blade that could get rid of the assault ladders.
Yes. Which takes off quite a bit of damage.
Yes, but is it enough?
Yep. With only one hero available, I'm not too sure. Rick also had the ability to use the Town Porter Scroll on the mid lane to bring back one of those heroes.
That's true, and then he could have another hero to put in the first lane that could
Yep.
potentially block some damage. But we'll see here. This is the Apotheosis Blade, the huge description about all its amazing power. 8 attack, 4 siege, and then its active is to condemn enemy improvements, which are these little thingies here.
Technically, he's dying right now, but he
Yes.
can take off a ton of damage with the blade. He has the Reptile Convoy to also block.
That's true. He did draw a creep, so he has something to use his mana for.
And of course, he has Steam Cannon as well to...
To get rid of one of these creeps,
Yeah.
especially the one that's targeting the building itself.
Okay, Sunsfan will use his first move just to equip an item.
There it is, 1 creep down, so lethal not threatened
Lethal averted for now.
for now. but it's still looking pretty tough. I suppose in the last lane, Rick is trying to win that one.
Oh, he's
So
maybe
he's-
calculating enough to just play the convoy there and win.
That's right.
He is going to get enough gold if it goes there. So if he goes for the blade and then ticks off the assault ladder, he is guaranteed to survive. Rick, are you listening?
Rick, he doesn't even have headphones on.
Oh, he doesn't
Yes.
actually. Rick is just listening to the full commentary as he plays.
But yeah, it's a series of events that he has to execute perfectly and hope that the arrows also don't.
Wait, actually,
mess
does
him
he
up.
have enough damage to win here, though? That is the issue. He doesn't grab that first tower here.
Right. Well, he could potentially see if he could grab it next time. If he happens to get another Thunder Tide pack, that's going to get 6 siege, which is exactly how much he needs to push down the first tower.
But he needs to definitely equip the blade, 100%.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, there are the 3 equipment slots.
Yes.
So there's a weapon, the armor, and the
I think accessory is what it's
accessory.
called? Yeah.
I believe, yes,
Yeah.
accessory. You can overwrite certain items. So if you have that Apotheosis Blade, even though you have that Poaching Knife, you can choose to equip it onto Lycan, and he will be able to use it.
Very keen to, in Dota 2, you just get a better item and you just sell your weak one for a better slot. Here comes that blade, 4 damage spills through, and he could take down all of the improvements for Sunsfan by just...
All of them.
Yeah.
No more conflagration, no more assault ladders.
That's lethal presented.
Oh, that is lethal. So now it looks like he has to use that Reptile.
Not
here.
if he takes down the assault ladder.
Not if, yeah, that's exactly right. That's why you got to clicky. Rick, you hear me, Rick?
Rick
There's the shiny
Rick is
button.
refusing to listen. Is that true to what Rick is as a character?
Yes.
Okay, that explains now a lot more.
Oh, no, Rick. You could have pressed the button, the win button. Apotheosis Blade has that active, and that active does condemn all of these factors that gave him that extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're watching from home, it looks very simple, but sitting down on that chair, there is about a billion things that are going through your mind.
Yes, it's